Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and now resuming my countdown of reviews for my picks for the top 10 best live action Disney movies. Now here I am to review what I have in the number 6 spot with a review of Saving Mr. Banks. So, yeah, I just watched this movie really for the first time, and yeah, I was like really surprised. Like, this movie, it was like really, really good. I mean, yeah, I really was like thoroughly amazed with this film. I mean, yeah, I was like really impressed with this film. I mean, it was just like a really good film. I mean, yeah, this is really like the first Disney film that really is kind of like based on like a true story. Really, like the movie is kind of like about really about like Walt Disney and P.L. Travers. And yeah, this is like really about the development of Mary Poppins. And yeah, this film like stars Emma Thompson as P.L. Travers and Tom Hanks as Walt Disney. And yeah, this is really basically about them like trying to negotiate a like making Mary Poppins a film, and really like throughout this film, like like Disney like wants this film one way and P.L. Travers wants it another way, and so they all they're like working out ways to try to make this film and stuff. And yeah, this is like throughout the really in the developmental stage of the film, and P.L. Travers throughout the film is like trying to like make corrections of the film the way she wants it done. And yeah, this film, yeah, this film like tells the story like really good. I mean, yeah, it's not like entirely accurate to what really happened in the development of this movie, but I mean, yeah, it still like does a pretty good job of telling the story. I mean, yeah, it has like as I said, P.L. Travers and Walt Disney in the movie, but it also has other people. Like it has the Sherman brothers in it. It also has like P.L. Travers' chauffeur Ralph and Don DeGrady, who was one of the writers for Mary Poppins. And yeah, basically it like features like everybody that was involved with making the, well, not everybody, but a lot of the like main people that were making the film and stuff. Yeah, and yeah, this film also like features like flashbacks of P.L. Travers. Like it really does like show like what really inspired her to write Mary Poppins, because yeah, it shows like throughout this film it shows like a lot of flashbacks of her like as a child, and because like she had a really loving father who really was like really did love her a lot and really did spend a lot of time with her. But it also like showed throughout the film that he really did have like a alcohol problem, and it resulted in him like losing his jobs a lot. And throughout the film it just shows like it really is affecting her parents' marriage and relationship and stuff. And it just it's like later on does show like the father was becoming like chronically ill, and he eventually ended up dying from tuberculosis, and it was just when P.L. Travers was only 7 years old. And yeah, and it also shows that reveals that her name isn't actually P.L. Travers. Her birth name was actually Helen Goff, and she got the name P.L. Travers from really her parents. Parents, well, mainly her father, because her father was like his first name was Travers, and so she like took Travers in honor of her father. Yeah, and it also like reveals that even though like she lives in like Britain, she isn't actually British. She's Australian. So yeah, it does like pick show like make some good revelations throughout the film of like P.L. Travers' background and stuff. And even later on in this film, it does like reveal some of Walt Disney's background as he's like talking with P.L. Travers and stuff. Yeah, and one of the things I did like about this film was it shows at one point P.L. Travers was watching TV, and it like shows like the opening of the of like the making of Peter Pan documentary or stuff of where like it showed like the beginning where if for those of you who have seen like the making of Peter pan featurette, like it was titled "You Can Fly." At the beginning, it shows like Walt Disney ringing a pixie bell to summon Tinkerbell, and it actually like shows like Tom Hanks really as Walt Disney in that, pretty much just reenacting that opening thing where of the actual featurette. So yeah, I did kind of like seeing that. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, you can probably tell like I really do think really high of this movie. I really was like really amazed by it. But I mean, there are like some things that really do take away from this movie, I feel. Because yeah, I feel like at a few points in this movie it can get like a little too corny. Like there's the scene where like Peel Travers was like dancing to "Let's Go Fly a Kite," which yeah, that just kind of had me just like going really. I mean, yeah, it just like really like yeah, I just really was not like invested in that, and yeah, I just really didn't think too high of that. And yeah, there were just like some other scenes that really did seem too corny for me. And plus, there's also like the ending of the film, which I really think is the biggest flaw with this movie because really, I don't really think like the ending is the biggest this thing that really this movie can get criticized for because it really is inaccurate to the the true tale of this. So yeah, there are like a few like flaws with the film, but the rest of it is just like really really good that I just really you still have to put it in this list. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for those flaws, this movie probably could have been higher on this countdown. But yeah, yeah, just yeah, because of those flaws, it just kind of loses points. But yeah, I still think number six is a fair spot for this film. I mean, I just like really do like this. Did think that this film was like pretty good. I would give this film probably 3.5 stars out of 4 once again. I mean, it's just like a really, really good film. And if it wasn't for those like flaws, I probably would have called this a great film. But yeah, still good overall. All right, so I don't want to spend a bunch of too much time talking about this. So yeah, let me just get right into the review. All right, so the movie shows like in 1961, it shows P.L. Travers and like it's showing that her agent is like trying to talk to her to go to see Walt Disney to try to work out a deal to make a film out of Mary Poppins, but she has been like really resistant to handing over the rights to Walt Disney because she fears what Walt Disney may do to Mary Poppins because it, it was like it does have some he wants to do some things that she really does not approve of, and yeah, she really didn't want any animation in the film or unprecedented script approval. Well, yeah. But she eventually does agree to go to Los Angeles to meet with Walt Disney to try to work out to make Mary Poppins a film. And yeah, when she eventually arrives in Los Angeles, and then she meets like her chauffeur, her Ralph, and yeah, and it takes a while for her to really get used to Ralph, but as the film progresses, they eventually like form a friendship with each other. Yeah. And she eventually then arrives at Walt Disney Studios where she meets the Sherman brothers and Don DeGrati, and she eventually does meet with Walt Disney. Yeah, yeah, and it's just like showing that Walt Disney has given her a contract. Like if she ever does agree to hand over the film rights to them, and for Mary Poppins, yeah. And as like they go through the development of the film, as they're going through the script, like P.L. Travers is like wanting to make corrections to it, and yeah, it's showing that throughout the film, like she disapproves of certain things. Like she really didn't like Dick Van Dyke as being casted as Bert in this movie, and yeah, throughout this film it just shows like she wants a bunch of things changed. Like she like changes the name of Mrs. Banks in the movie, and yeah, yeah, and she also like doesn't really like how they're interpreting Mary Poppins in the script, and also like she really is not approving of the songs in the movie. Like it shows like the Sherman brothers like writing a bunch of songs that are in the movie, like Jim Chimney and Spoonful of Sugar, Feed the Birds, and yeah, pretty much every song that's in Mary Poppins there go over, but P.L. Travers is not approving of them and stuff, yeah. And then, and like later on in this movie, it shows like the probably her biggest criticism for the movie, and that's how Mr. Banks was being depicted, and it like she really is like insisting that Mr. Banks wasn't like cold or cruel as he was portrayed in Mary Poppins. Yeah, and then it eventually like does like show that the like all the crew for who that she's working with show that they are they do eventually like see like how much the Mary Poppins stories really mean to her, since like they like a lot of the characters in the story really are inspired by her past. And yeah, as I said, throughout this film it shows like the flashbacks of her and her father and stuff when she's 7. Yeah, and then like later on in the movie, like just all of the memories of her childhood, and as she's like starting to remember like how much her father really did like change and how he was really like becoming ill and stuff, she was like really like disengaging in the project more and more, or as these flashbacks started to get to her. And then eventually like Walt Disney eventually then just invited P.L. Travers to was on a tour of Disneyland, which then she then did come to Disneyland, and Disney was just giving her a tour of the park. Yeah, and then eventually, then just the creative team for the film then was like starting to revise the character of Mr. Banks, and then they were adding in the song "Let's Go Fly a Kite," and then yeah, they were singing it along with Abiel Travers, and then yeah, eventually then she got up and danced all around to it, which yeah, like I was just saying, that was just seemed like a really corny and stuff, but yeah, and then it eventually like leads to like starting to like dissolve some of the oppositions that P.L. Travers has. Yeah. And then she started to like become like more creative, and then she was like starting to approve of more stuff as she was starting to work with the team. But then she eventually like found out that there was like an animated sequence of the penguins in the movie. And then after that, then she just saw that Walt Disney really did break a promise to her, and that's something else I really do like about this film. Like, it does show like elements of Walt Disney that really is kind of shocking to see, but it's good to see them at the same time. Like, it really does show like Walt Disney. It show like he really was not like always like the big, nice, big-hearted guy. Like, he could sometimes like go behind people's backs and break promises, and yeah, he could really like be backstabbing at some points. And yeah, it was I was like really glad to see that they really did like try to get Walt Disney like really accurate in this film as how he really did act for the development of this film. So yeah, I really did like to see that. And yeah, I should also say like there was like one thing that P.L. Travers like really didn't approve of this movie. That was really kind of strange. Like, she said that she didn't want any red in this movie, which was just kind of strange. I mean, that was just a weird request. I mean, yeah, she just was saying that she really was not a fan of red or something, and she just didn't want any red in the movie, which was just odd. But yeah, yeah. But anyway, and then yeah, she just then confronted Walt Disney about the broken promise that there would be an animated sequence in this movie, and then she just then called off the movie and the deal, and then just returned back home to England. And then, like, before she left, then she then, like, befriended Ralph and stuff, and then, yeah, she's, like, signed a book for Ralph's daughter, And then yeah, she then like flew back home, and then yeah, when she left, then Walt then was like learning a little more about Peel Travers. You learn that uh, Travers is just her pen name, which was taken from her father, and that she was really named Helen Goff and she was Australian. And then after that, then it gave like Walt like a new view on Peel Travers, and then he followed her back to London. And then once he arrived at her house, he then was just having like kind of a heartfelt conversation with her, and he was just telling her that he really did have kind of a similar childhood as she did, and he was just explaining his childhood to her. And then he was just like urging her to just not let the like deeply rooted disappointments in her past really like affect her present. And yeah, there was also like a part in this film where it really was like really good, where he was like explaining to P.L. Travers that he understood what he was going through because just he was in her position once before, and he was offered a lot of money for Mickey Mouse, but yeah, he just he just really couldn't bring himself to sell Mickey because Mickey was part of his family, much like Mary Poppins is part of P.L. Travers' family. So yeah, it was like good to see like they kind of like could relate to each other in a way. So yeah, I did like how they were able like showed like there was like a sort of a connection between Wolf and P.L. Travers in this film. So yeah, it was good to see that. And then yeah, and then after Disney then talked to her about that, then that's when she then granted the rights to Disney to make a film out of it. And then it cut to 3 years later in 1964, the year of Mary Poppins' release. And then, it, like, the premiere was set to be in Hollywood at the Grauman's Chinese Theater. And then it was then revealed that Disney really didn't send an invitation to P.L. Travers for the premiere. And he was just saying that he just like was like concerned about how she could react with the people that were going to be there watching, like presses and stuff. And then once word got to P.L. Travers that she didn't receive any invitation, then she just showed up to Disney's office really unannounced and basically just confronting him about not sending an invitation. And yeah, this is like where it really kind of gets really inaccurate. Like this, after that, then like, well, then just like really reluctantly invited her to the premiere, and that's really not how it went at all. Like in like the actual story, like she really was not invited to the film, but to the premiere, but like in real life, how she really did like get invited to the premiere was like she embarrassed a Disney executive to basically extend her an invitation. So yeah, she basically like made the people at Disney invite her. So yeah, this was really like where it really does get inaccurate. Yeah. And then yeah, it then cuts to the premiere, and then it shows everybody arriving, and then P.L. Travers eventually then arrived, and yeah, she was just like looking around. It actually did show portraits of the actual actors in Mary Poppins, like it showed David Tomlinson and Julie Andrews and everybody. Yeah, and it does like show in the premiere there are like other actors portraying Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews and other cast members that are actually in Mary Poppins. And then Mickey Mouse then escorted P.L. Travers inside the theater, and then it just showed like then the everybody then just watching the movie, and then it like cuts to P.L. Travers as she's watching the movie, and yeah, this like as it she sees like there are like it does have the elements that she disapproved of in it. It does show like she wasn't really happy about that. How she really like did kind of just get like a strained look on her face when it had those elements. Then like as the movie progressed and had it showed some other elements, it did like show like she was like kind of like what should I say? She was like warmed up to a lot of the film, but then it like showed like when it showed like the scenes with Mr. Banks and how he was like being depicted, and it was like just showing like his crisis and stuff. That was when like she started to get really emotional and stuff and tear up. And yeah, this was where like I was really like kind of just grimacing at it, going just like really like not impressed with that because yeah, just yeah, with all of you that really know the true story of this, you really know how P.L. Travers really did feel about Mary Poppins, the movie. Yeah, she the way she really felt about the movie was like she really was not that crazy about the movie. She really was not a really a fan of the film, and yeah, this was yeah because yeah in real life she just really did hate like that it did have a bunch of elements that she disapproved of, and then this is when she like ruled out any other adaptations of the any of the other Mary Poppins books. Yeah, but then like over time, I'm like it did show like in an interview she was like saying that the film was good on its own level, but she just didn't feel it was very much like her books. So yeah, I guess like she wasn't as time progressed, I guess like she realized that the movie really wasn't as bad as she felt it was when it first premiered. Like she really didn't come to really hate it really, but yeah, she's still like really not wasn't the biggest fan of the film. And yeah, just seeing her cry like that, I mean, I guess like you you can see like how it did like show the flashbacks and how like this did make her once again think of what happened with her father and stuff. So I guess like if you can look through it in this film as to what we actually saw, I guess you can kind of understand why she did react that way. But yeah, this still like made it seem like she really did love this film and she was really reacting to it like really like not the way she really did feel about it at all. So yeah, the ending just really does kind of take points away from this film. Yeah, it's mostly due to the ending that really does like take the points away from this film. But I mean, yeah, still like it's not a terrible ending. Just like due to its inaccuracy of the true story, it just really makes me kind of just like I kind of like not feel as good about this film as I really did before, like this ending and stuff. But I mean, the rest of the film, like I said, it is like really good, and yeah, I was like thoroughly amazed with this film, really. And yeah, the movie like it did end with like one more thing with showing her as a child with her father, and her father just giving her like a message and stuff of like saying like oh yeah, just like her father said something to her, and yeah, that's how it ended. And I liked as how the credits rolled, like as it was listing the cast, like it actually showed like pictures of the actual people that the actors were playing in this film. So I really did like how it like kind of did like give tribute to the real story, to like have the pictures of the real people, well, like right beside the actor's name. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting way to for the credits to go. So yeah, but yeah, still, this is a yeah really good movie. As I said, 3.5 stars out of 4. Yeah, yeah. While it does like have those flaws that I talked about, the rest of the movie just it is like really good. Like while it is does have some flaws, what is good in the movie, it is like really good, and yeah, it really does amaze me. So yeah, yeah, so despite the fact that it does have some inaccuracy to it, I would definitely recommend you watch this film, whether you are familiar with the true story or not. Like, you'll definitely like be really amazed with this film. I've actually like seen some people say that this film actually made them cry, and I've seen other people that have kind of said that this film really makes them look at Mary Poppins in a different way than before they saw it. So yeah, I guess this film really did leave an impact with a lot of people. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you watch this film. Like, make you this really will amaze you. So yeah, and yeah, since I talked about this, you are probably like thinking, is Mary Poppins gonna be part of my countdown of reviews also? Well, yeah, you'll just have to wait and see if I will talk about Mary Poppins later on in this countdown. But yeah, anyway, alright, so yeah, that does it for my review of Saving Mr. Bangs. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. So yeah, definitely check this film out. It is like a really good film, and you'll definitely be amazed by it. Alright, so yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.